Hey YouTubers, this is still Sexy Butch again. This is going to be my second and last video today. I have a friend, I believe I've mentioned her before. Her name's Julie, and she lives up in Colorado. She does holistic healing stuff, and just, just some amazing things that she's involved with there. And I've known her for, I don't know, I guess about 20 years now. Almost as long. I've known her actually longer than Maggie. And Maggie and I have been together almost 18 years. And anyway, we've recently been emailing each other back and forth about, well, I did this video before. I did two videos, one specifically about my mother, and the other one about just my parents generally. And the video about my mother, I mentioned that I thought that there was still a little bit of anger and resentment there about towards her about what happened between us. And my friend Julie kind of, well, she caught that, and so she started asking me about that, and saying that she could help me. She could help me get that anger and resentment out and be rid of it. Well, I've been thinking about it the last couple of weeks since we shared those emails with each other, and I told her that I've got this protective shell around me, which I guess most people do. But she mentioned my dad, and asked me if maybe a large part of that wasn't because of him, because I told her that my dad and I had a very rocky relationship, and we did. So anyway, I think that that's where a lot of that pain and resentment really comes from, that's been buried for so long, is the relationship I had with my father, more than the little incident that happened with me and my mother. When I was a teenager, my dad and I just fought. I mean, well, he and my mom both had a hard time understanding me, and when I was a kid, they just wrote me off as a tomboy, but once I went through puberty, they expected me to, be a girl. And when I didn't turn out like my mom and my two sisters and all the so-called normal females around me, they didn't know what to do with me. And my dad really had a hard time, my father was raised Southern Baptist like my mother, born and raised in Arkansas. And he didn't have any sisters. He had all brothers. And they're, his parents raised him and his brothers with that old, spare the rod, spoil the child kind of thing. And, they got beatings. So that's how my dad knew how to raise us, was the way that his parents raised him. So I don't fault my dad, and I'm not saying he was a cruel man. He wasn't cruel, but that's just the only way he knew how to deal with things. When we did something that displeased him, most of the time out came the belt. And I think even from the time I was a little bitty child back in Arkansas, when I was real little, I think was the first time he used a belt on me. And well, I grew to hate belts. especially his belt. So that was the only way he knew how to deal with it, was beating his kids, you know. There's that old expression, beating the hell out of them, which I'm sure is a big biblical based expression. Well, I think it's more like beating the hell into them. So I think if you beat a kid enough, then, you know, you're just asking for hell to be unleashed from that child. And I can recall many instances when my father beat one of us with the belt, and I can remember him getting so mad at, usually it was one of my brothers, getting so mad at them that he would shake his fist, and his face would always turn red, and he'd shake his fist, and he'd pound the table, usually at the dinner table. And he'd pound the table, and he'd threaten to put him through a wall, or he might even go and hit the wall, you know. But most of the time he just would, you know, shake his fist and get all red. Always terrified me when he got red, because then I knew he was really angry. And somebody was going to get it. I was afraid it wasn't me. But that was how he dealt with it, you know. That was how his parents dealt with it when they got mad with him. They beat him. And so that was what he grew up with. And that doesn't make it right. So I guess as a result of that, I do have a lot of, even though I understand why he did it, there's still a lot of pain and resentment buried there deep down, and I guess my friend Julie's right. I need to get that out. So anyway, she said that, you know, she can rebalance my energies and help me to get at least some of that out, as I have been carrying it around, not consciously in my mind, but she said that our bodies carry that stuff around. And, you know, the memories of those beatings and stuff, our bodies carry that around. And I think that could very well be true for me. So, I don't know, maybe that's why I put on so much weight over the years. But, anyway, I'm going to give her a shot at it and see if she can help me. And there's just a lot of stuff that's really buried in there, and it's kind of scary for me to face it now. You know, it's been years, literally years, since, even when my father was still alive. When I became an adult, say in my 20s and 30s, once by the time I got into my 30s, it was pretty much behind me as far as the physical punishment. But as a child and as a teenager, I certainly got my share. You know, it's funny, you don't think about that stuff. You know, you think when it's out of your mind that it's just gone. You know, when it's not in your mind anymore, it's just on and over. But I think there is a part of me that still remembers, way back there somewhere in the back of my mind, that still remembers all that. You know, the beatings and the threats and the other things. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and let her try to help me, you know, get through that, and let you guys know how it works out. It's a scary thing for me to even think about, but I think I need to do it. So anyway, until next time, this is still Sexy Butch, and you know, wishing you peace and love, and And until next time, see you later. Bye.